Hi, everyone. So my name is Kaʻela Kaulia Verece, and my senior capstone proposal was on misinformation in media. Um, and my topic on the paper or on my research was how to identify, mitigate, and combat misinformation. So a little bit about myself. I'm a transfer student from HCC, from the Melee program. Uh, I graduated from Roosevelt High School, and I'm currently pursuing a general creative media major. So for my executive summary, I plan to talk about my senior capstone project, my objective for doing my research and stating my thesis statement, and also addressing the significances of my research. So my thesis statement for my research paper was social media apps serve as large media outlets where information and misinformation can be shared within seconds. Since anyone can partake in uploading and sharing information online, the spread of misinformation is more likely to occur because people do not put the effort into seeing if the information shared is factual. There are many reasons for this, including confirmation bias, as well as not being able to identify misinformation in the media. Users online are susceptible to mass consumption of misinformation. The spread of misinformation through the media can lead to people believing inaccurate information as well. So my reasoning for conducting this research in the first place was actually because of my little brothers and how much they're like into they're basically iPad kids, and they consume a lot of information online from YouTubers and people that they look up to online. And I noticed that they the YouTubers and stuff, they a lot of the times they influenced how my brothers started to think and what they believed in. Um, I also think I also sorry, it also snowballed into wanting to help others identifying when they're being exposed to misinformation and knowing how to mitigate misinformation as well. Because I felt like it was a great bridging topic to pursue an internship with PBS Hawaii, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. So what I'm planning to deliver for my capstone plans is a practicum as well as a website. Uh, Practicum will be an internship, like I said, with PBS Hawaii as a student production technician. I don't really know what the tasks are as far as the this position goes. It doesn't really state much about it, but I did turn in my application, and I gave them a schedule of when I project my internship uh, work to be. But of course, I'm always open to like pushing it further or something if I need to meet more requirements for my hours. So I'm going to be conducting interviews with my coworkers, and creating a website to hold my vlogs. I also plan on logging my hours as well as my tasks that I do throughout the weeks and stuff. Yeah. So on to my significance. My first significance is, of course, with how misinformation and media has taken a toll on my family over the years. Like I said, I noticed how much it influenced my brothers. Um, it also sorry, it also my grandparents also became susceptible to misinformation online via scams and stuff like that throughout the years. And most recent, most recent, I'm sorry, uh, most recent case of my family being susceptible to misinformation is my niece losing her scholarship to disinformation that was spread to her, spread about her online through her school and stuff like that. And I feel like with future implications, I feel like it's kind of my responsibility as like more so the younger generations in my family growing up with the internet, growing up with social media and stuff like that. It's kind of our responsibility to help spread awareness to, I guess, my older generation of the family that don't really know, and as well as like the younger ones that aren't aware either. Yeah, I feel like it's my responsibility. Sorry. So my second significance, I feel misinformation in the media affects how the public perceives the world and how younger generations develop biased mindsets. Um, you notice that you notice this kind of a lot with politics in America and in our democracy. Um, this proves to be problematic for our society because it often creates fragmentation, polarization, and radicalization of society. Um, it reinforces one's beliefs while in turn putting down the opposing side's information. So like in a way, confirmation bias. This is some of the graphs that I use within my research. Um, Not in my research, but I talked about it in my research. The left is just a it's just general information about the popular social media apps as of today or as of January 2023, and just the amount of active users on the apps. And then on the right is a graph about news consumers who saw false or misleading information about selected topics such as like COVID-19, politics, climate change, and in the last week, it's only been like, so this is only taken from a week of February 2022 by region also. So this is like North America, Latin America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. And I just wanted to highlight the amount of, or the percentage of misinformation being consumed with COVID-19 in politics, especially because pretty much everyone hovers around 50% by region. And this is just in the span of a week. So I felt like it was important to highlight how easy it is for people to be susceptible to misinformation. So my target audience, because I'm doing a practicum, I felt like I didn't really have a target audience. I felt like I was more so my target audience because I wanted to educate myself to better educate my family and others of misinformation. And with the internship with PBS Hawaii, I know from researching that they're a good source for neutral and unbiased news. So this sparked another interest in my study. I expect to help the organization in any way possible with putting out trustworthy information to reach an audience that is looking for neutral information. So my preparation and process. So my prep consisted of like updating my resume and cover letter to help with my application, filling out my internship application, turning it in. I'm still waiting to hear back. I also called them. I'm planning my work, I planned my hours and work days ahead of time, but I'm always open to like, switching it up. It's not concrete. So throughout the production, I'm not entirely sure, like I said, what the tasks will be as far as the internship goes, but I'll be completing them over the course of over the month, and I'll also be trying to hold interviews with my coworkers for my vlog for my website. And at the end, At the end of this process, I'll have a complete log of hours worked, days worked, my website with my vlogs or recordings, with my interviews. Yeah. So my deliverable, what I hope to accomplish with this internship with PBS Hawaii is to gain firsthand experience in the production side of the media industry, specifically the TV production side. I hope, I hope to learn valuable insight on how to work in a film production environment and how to effectively cover news from an unbiased perspective. That's it.